Jack and Ted, Ted and Jack. One's a werewolf, the other's not. Okay people, welcome back to another Fwoosh overview. Today let's take a look at the Jada Toys Universal Monsters, the Wolfman and the Invisible Man, or Wolfman and Invisible Man. Special thanks to Jada Toys for sending these out early so I can take a look at them because, man, I love this line. I'm not the biggest Universal Monsters fan, but these have my preferred aesthetic. I know there's a lot of companies making Universal Monsters, but these, the straight up 1/12 scale, goes along great with all the other toys I collect. And then the articulation style, the layout, the range, that's everything I love about action figures. So ever since I saw these in little pictures, where was that? It was from overseas somewhere, and then again in person at San Diego Comic-Con, I've been, come to daddy. Looking at the package, it is the exact same packaging as we saw with Wave 1. Pretty clean, Universal Monsters, the character, choking hazard, small parts. Do not put them in your mouth. The blue stripy backgrounds. On the side, that continues around. On the back, also available, Wolfman, Invisible Man. Same warnings in all kinds of languages. On the other side, again, that same graphic. Universal Monsters and a window hang hook on the bottom. There's legalese, there's barcode. Let's get these open, see what's going on. Gonna do the invisible, there's no tape. It's just open. Is there tape? Well, there's tape on top. What about Wolfman? Oh, there's no tape over there. And it doesn't look like there was any tape, so that may just be how they're shipped. Pretty simple plastic tray. There's a window that I forgot to mention that you can see everything. Backdrop. Oh, and look. It's the Invisible Man. Again, I saw this in person at San Diego Comic-Con, but now getting it in the lights, in front of the camera, right in front of my face, there's a lot of sculpted detail here. Back then I didn't notice the texture to the robe, but it's kind of a softer overlay, and then the plastic arms, and then down below the lower robe is a very, very, very soft plastic. But looking at the colors and the textures, they may be slightly more apparent on the harder plastic, but it all matches up. And that's cool to see, because usually, you know, here it may be a lot softer, maybe a different color because it went through a different process, but no, it looks like one big robe. Have black on the top of the pockets here, here, and here. The crisscross pattern is painted on, and it looks fairly nice. Missed slightly right there. It's supposed to be material, you know, so it's not straight up and down. It's not a superhero costume, it's just a robe. It does look like it kind of gets right here, like they were painting, and then came around the other side and it didn't quite match up. Even then, that's not terrible. There's also stripes on the pants underneath. There's the reds, there's the blacks on the bluish, and they're on the back too. Look at that. Goes up to the top of the legs, but does not go on the crotch area because I don't think you're actually supposed to pull the robe up that far. It's also not on the ass either. But there is, well, yeah, some wrinkles sculpted in just in case. Have a couple of buttons right there on the front. The gloves are very, very bright white, but that matches up to here and here. Then you kick into a dark wash up at the head with the wraps. Have some gold to the glasses, a shiny, shiny black for the lenses. For the Wolfman, we have more normal clothes. With the Invisible Man, it's kind of dapper bathrobe. Here, you have a long sleeve shirt that has some green to it. There is a wash here too to dirty it up. Again, very nice texture here, giving it a fabric feel. Some nice wrinkle work around the elbows, and same thing around the midsection. Got two pockets, buttons on there too. The collar's nice. Even have buttons on the back of the cuffs. Painted belt loops, and I sound excited about that because a lot of the time companies will just kind of, well, there's that brown straight across, but there's some nice detail work here. Like the silver on the buckle and on the end of the belt. Helps that stand out a lot against the kind of drab colors. Same thing with the pants. Some bunching up in places, some stretch, a nice texture to it, and you can see that it has a darker blue wash, or even black up on top. Not even a wash, it's more of an overspray. You can see the blue peeking through in places. The back pockets, seam line running all the way up the side. Then you get to the wolfy parts, like this clawed hand. The left almost turns paw-like, which again, feels very Wolfman-ish. A lot of personality to it. Down at the feet, got some fur, got some claws. Again, with the black wash bringing out the detail. And then there's the head. Unlike Invisible Man again, where all the features are covered up, here you get the teeth, you get the eyes, you get the nose, and everything's pretty nicely painted. It's not super realistic detailed, but you definitely get the Wolfman feeling. Again, a wash to get down in those nooks and crannies, bring out the detail. Bright white used again to just have the teeth, the eyes stand out, jump out at you from the darkness of the rest of the figure. Some engineering, I'm gonna go back to it. This is the softest, rubbery material I've seen in a long, long time. It will just get up and out of the way of anything you want to do with the lower body. Now, it's not going to stay up, and it will look a little unnatural if it's like sitting, but you're going to be able to get it in a chair, no problem. And then because of the overlay on the torso, they didn't put in a mid-torso joint. So it's kind of like Star Wars where there's a ball joint at the bottom, but look at the range on that. And then they're doing a dumbbell at the top of the neck with a ball joint down low. Altogether, you're going to get nice movement in the head. Wolfman has that same setup, but because of the hair coming down, and I guess the chin and everything, oh, well, there's also the collar coming up, you don't get as much movement. Still get some tilt, you get some looking down, but not a lot of up. Things run into each other. Here we do get a mid-torso joint on a dumbbell, so you get some hula hoop, along with a ball at the waist. There's also a rubber overlay for the crotch, so there's no gappage at the top of the leg, but when you bring it up, it's going to flex out of the way there for extra range. Jada is evolving. The first series had excellent articulation, but they're still picking at it. They're tweaking, and that's always a good thing. Going over articulation, like I just said, dumbbell at the top of the neck, ball at the bottom, get you some up, get some down, all kinds of tilt, left and right. Pin coming out to the shoulder, rotates all the way around, hinges up past 90, swivel at the bicep, double elbow with some hefty detents, comes all the way up, swivel at the wrist, and then hinges in and out. Dumbbell joint at the waist, get you some crunch, get you some arc back, some tilt, some rotation. Ball coming out to the hip, and I'm just noticing that this also has a rubber overlay, so not a problem with the leg coming all the way up. Back out, better than some Spider-Mans. Swivel at the thigh, double knee. If he could see his ass, he'd be kicking it. Swivel at the foot for side to side. Hinge at the ankle goes back to there. Forward, front facing pin for rocker. For Wolfman, essentially the same setup, but different ranges. Again, because of the hair, can look up to about right there. Looks down, tilt, left and right. Pin coming out to the shoulder, goes all the way around. Hinge, plenty of room. Swivel at the bicep, double elbow comes up to there. Look at that, he can grab his own shoulder. Swivel at the wrist with some hinge in and out. Dumbbell mid-torso. This one doesn't open up as much. It's either a ball or a dumbbell, but goes to here, some here, some here. This ball coming out to the hip, can sit down, kick back, out. Oh, beautiful. Swivel at the thigh, double knee. Ooh. Swivel at the pants, hinge at the ankle goes way back, way forward, front facing pin for rocker. For accessories, the Invisible Man comes with a fist and then kind of a open hand. They're secure, but pop out fairly easy. There's a grip hand that is specifically for this beaker. Is that what it's called? This glass apparatus thingy dilly whopper. Some flex to it, easy to put in the hand. Science. Look. Well, I said specifically for that. There's also this book. It has a slight texture to it, the gold on the spine, and then the white representing some pages inside. You can also flex the hand open for him to hold that too. Then if you pop this out, pop this hand in, get him kind of lined up, it looks like he's pulling his hand off to expose the invisibility. It's a nice way to display it. There's also a reason for the head to pop off, because there's an alternate head. And that has a bandage coming out and a hand to plug in on the right side. Now the effect isn't perfect. There's still the need for a socket for the head to plug in, but from the front, it looks invisible. It looks like it's nothing much in there. There's also a hat you can put on there. There's almost a pop to it. It's not just gonna fall off. For the Wolfman, again, we have these kind of attack paws. Then there's a set of grip hands. One larger, this one, the forefinger and thumb is actually attached. That's to hold this nifty cane. In fact, it's a tight grip to get around the silver part down here, but look at the detail on the head of it. At first I thought, well, the other hand has a grip. What's this supposed to hold? And it's the trap. I guess if you wanted to, you could have him carry it around. Bad trap. For that, there's some orangey brown that they've added for some dirtiness. There's joints right here so you can close it up. And then a real chain to hold it all together. As always, the head pops off. There's an alternate angry head, and it's mostly in the eyebrows. There's not a huge difference. Well, I don't know. The mouths are a different shape, too. Invisible Man is ever so slightly shorter than the Wolfman, standing at about 6 3/16, while Wolfman is 6 1/4, which works perfect with Jada's Universal Monsters Series 1. Like I said way back at the first, other companies have done Universal Monsters, but these are 1/12 scale. They will go with the Mezco 1/12 Collective Frankenstein's Monster. They're going to look small next to your NECA figures. Because of that scale, they're going to work great with your Hasbro Marvel Legends, with your Hasbro Star Wars Black Series, no matter how monstrous you get. So at the end of the day, I really, really like these. It's going to sound bad, but I like that they have a genericness to them. I think we talked about it with Series 1, but these are kind of like movie poster versions of the characters. They're not meant to be exactly what we saw in the movies. They're just meant to contain the essence in plastic form. I'm not sure if that's part of the license or anything, but it works for me. Especially, well, you know me, I like mixing and matching. I like taking things and going, oh, this Wolfman can work over here as, you know, some other werewolf that may run around at night. They're toys. If you like them, buy them. Do whatever you want with them, because that's what I'm going to do with these. If you enjoyed the review, comment, like, subscribe. Much love to the plus. If you're interested in seeing videos early or in a position to help out the channel, patreon.com. But wherever you may be watching this, I'll always catch you on the Fwoosh. I mentioned it earlier, but I like that Jada is still young. They're still fresh. They're still new when it comes to making super articulated action figures. And it's awesome to see them making changes on the fly. Again, Series 1 was awesome, but to take that and ramp it up, they're learning, they're improving where they can. And hey, that's awesome to see.